being handled and shit, you know.
That might be because he is handled because he has someone off that you don't see. Like if the one video I remember seeing was his tribute to Max Spears. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, cause James was there.
Mm-hmm.
This might be good. Like, and he starts off and he says, I don't know, should I even say it? And
yeah.
I can't even impersonate him.
Yeah.
But and he's looking at us. So who is that person?
His
That's
handler.
Laurie Fenton, most likely. Okay,
yeah,
that's Laurie Fenton. Yeah. They both live in San Francisco. They're both these whatever. And he's like a video game. All he does is play video games. He's probably a trust fund baby. And he's like, I'm sorry, but if you're like 5'2" or however tall he is, 5'3", you're not a super soldier, bro.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. He's not a super
All right, maybe
soldier.
you are actually, like, maybe in some weird psychic way. Okay, yeah. But
he's a super troll is more like it. Super shill.
Super troll, But like, so yeah, that you get. So like, when in that Max thing, what really upset me, and it'll upset it more than just me, because I don't have a problem with them other than this thing. And he starts off. He's like, "Oh, first time I met Max, should I tell?" And he's like, "Well, I walked in to an orgy or something. It was like an orgy." And this person was with that person, and Sarah was there with this person, and there was a whole. And they asked me to join. I said no. I'm thinking he just died. He's just died. This is. Oh, then he we rented out a house, and Max came, and he immediately stole the pills from the person.
Yeah, he stole his drugs. I remember that.
Stole the drug, but like, dude, like if you want to, like, really hurt people who are close to him, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. And that's what he did. And like, to not know, like, to respect, like, someone's passing, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
And it pissed a lot of people off, James Rink. And you should say you're sorry, dude. You should really say you're sorry.
Yeah, James Rink. You're pissing people off, like, making his mama feel bad and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, probably. So, okay, let's get back to Tim Rifat.
Okay, let's get back to Tim Rifat.
So,
come here.
Okay, what else did I want to explain about Tim Rifat?
Well, let me tell you.
He's just interesting. The A-lister. How about this? So, the new basis program that will come out, according to Duncan, Gridkeeper, is that they go around Brighton to these different churches and statues. Oh, it's a cute collie, man.
He's an Australian Shepherd.
Oh, look at what's the name?
His name is Gunter.
Oh, cool. Dutchard?
Gunter.
Gunter.
Gunter. Gunter. That's
cool.
Yeah.
That's a good. Wow.
He's an Australian
My dog
Shepherd.
does the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Does like lays back like this.
Yeah, like being submissive or whatever they're doing.
All right, so Tony Stark Rifat.
Yeah, Tony Stark Rifat.
He's super smart, man. And the reason why he calls himself Tony Stark, I've seen people. There's already a video on YouTube of a guy, just like a British guy, and he's watching. It's just like as if I were to record the video of Tim Rifat and just talk over it. Right? That's what he's doing, and he's pausing it every 2 seconds to laugh at, like, the way he looks. Which isn't bad. He doesn't look that bad at all. Actually, looks pretty damn good.
For his
like
age,
tan,
yeah, right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And actually, if you go back to his earlier things, there's a show with John Ronson, who wrote the book The Men Who Stare at Goats. He used to live in Austin. Mark Ronson. What's his name? John Ronson. He's the one that snuck into Bohemian Grove with Alex Jones.
I know the other guy that snuck into Bohemian Grove with Alex Jones.
Okay, yeah, that's
he wrote a book.
This guy wrote a book about it and stuff, right?
This guy did too.
Yep. Oh, really? Is it John Ronson?
No, he's a guy who lives in a little. I can't think of his name right now, but I knew he was friends with my dad, and I've got the book. He went on that one famous one where Alex Jones snuck in there. Yeah. He was with him.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He knows Alex Jones. I mean, so he knows this other guy, Ronson, too, for sure.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, but anyway, so he, So he wrote this. He had this show in like the late '90s on England, and it was called like a late 2 a.m. Show about like conspiracies and things like that. It was very weird, and it's called For the Love of, and then Mind Control. This one was on mind control, and Tim Rifat is there. He's a younger Tim Rifat. He looks just like a college professor, like Jordan Peterson or something like that. He's sitting there. He's just chilling, man. He's just like looking at everybody else. They all look, way. They don't know what's going on. He has a little psychotronic thing that he blasts up, and he puts it there, and he's talking to John Ronson, and then these two other guests get into a fight, and this one guy's like, ever since I got here, you've been putting me down. You must work for the NSA. You must work for MI6 and stuff. And at the very end, Tim Rifat takes off his device and says, yes, and you can cause confrontation with waves, and he turns off his device.
Wow.
And John Ronson is like, wow, because you'd think they would all agree on like New World Order, blah 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 blah, but no, it got heated for no reason. And like Tim was just like, yep, confrontation. Let's set it to agreeableness or what, so he knows the psychotronic warfare at that level. He was just a master. He was just like, in his younger years, he wasn't like, he's evolved. You know what I'm saying? As we all do.
Yeah, because I was listening to a show with him, with Jeff Ritz, I think from like 1999, and he was talking about reptilians and all that stuff, and he had a lot of good information. But he's gone from being theoretical and being a researcher and finding out about this stuff to where he's actually doing it now.
Yes.
According to him. And one of the weirdest things is like, it's one of those cases where you ask, how's this guy even alive if he's really doing all this shit to the Rothschilds and everything like that? Mm-hmm. I know they can't get him, psychically or with the psychic attack, but, somebody can just walk.
It's crazy.
It's pretty easy to kill somebody.
I was going to say, like, like I read a lot of the comments and feedback on that video because I wanted to see people's reactions. Like I say, I've known of Tim Rifat for a long time. I mean, not as that long, but I consumed the material, mm-hmm. And it had some effect on me. Like I could follow the maths of it and like, and like where he was going. And it was just really interesting. Like he combined it with the Carlos Castaneda stuff, the energy, the pharaonic stuff.
It's some of the most provocative stuff that I've come across yet in my lifetime of studying these conspiracies. I mean, he's literally taken it to the next level.
Yeah, I think
his claims are just bordering on outrageous if they didn't sound believable. I mean, there's something that makes you believe what he's saying.
It doesn't sound believable at the time, but then you consider, you look at like his work with Katy Perry, just to go to like Katy Perry and the A-listers, or Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, he's done hours and hours of talking about her symbolism in her videos, and how he's going to remotely kill her and all this stuff, right? And then you go there, and then months later she comes out with her big reputation video event, right? And she didn't give any press or whatever it was. It was a huge video. And what's the video all about? The 13 different Taylors in the timelines that she has to kill off to create the Jet Li 1. The Omega point where Tim Rifat cannot get her. Right? And like in the T for Tim. And it's just like there's so many things. Believe me, man. I don't think.
Yeah, they said he was even supposed to have a baby with that other pop lady.
Katy Perry?
Yeah. Somebody.
Well, she sold her soul to Lucifer. And she admits this in a VH1 interview, I think it is. Her father, like, listen, my girlfriend's from Santa Barbara, and it's a beautiful place, man. Beautiful people, beautiful land and houses and all that stuff. Great place to live. Moving back soon. Anyway, Katy Perry's from Santa Barbara, and so she played a show that was because we had wildfires like last year, and they were really bad, and they destroyed a lot of things. So she did a fundraiser, and it was open bar and everything, but it was only for residents of Santa Barbara. So it was like a few thousand people, you know. And I get to see she's awesome. Katy Perry's awesome. I don't know if they're aware of this. That's the question for me. Is that like, is this just an unconscious thing that they just like do unwittingly? Which, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not consciously thinking, well, Tim Rifat, I'm getting the best of you, you know, or anything like that. I think it's done in a very subtle way. You've seen, and the cool thing about the video is that, you know, I'm listening to MP3s. I'm imagining what he's talking about with the psychotronic crystals and this and that. But even though he anticipates questions very well, it still made me wonder, like, what does he mean by like, you know, like he has these services like a Thor service where you just got to get a hammer and you slam down on the hammer or the machete. I'm sure that would work too. But you do that, and because that instead of like the crystal appendage point thing. So, you know, I don't know. So it was good to see that on tape or on video because I was imagining how that would go. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, I don't know. Like, how does it actually done? But it's basically boiled down to the point where you know, somehow he can get away with it. Not always, man, because he was put away, I think, in a mental hospital not too long ago.
Oh, are you serious? Well, because once they get you there, they got you where they want you. I mean, that's like
I don't know
Kanye.
how he got out. Yeah.
Well, that's almost suspicious right there. That he's now turned, or he's, you know, that he's the mouthpiece for them somehow, or something. I don't know.
No, I don't know, but
it just doesn't seem like it.
He hates them. That's the thing.
He hates them. Yeah.
You know, and here's another thing to.
Did he used to work for them? Did he used to work for the Rothschilds?
No, but Colin Bloy, who was his mentor, did.
Colin,
he was an MI6 Magus. Yeah.
Oh.
Colin Bloy. He was like a John D. So yeah, England, like even before we were talking about, like they've always been Merlin and John D. and Edward Kelly. I mean, they're all from the UK. All these magicians. You got even up to this today. Yeah.
Crowley. Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Crowley and yeah, exactly. So it still is there. You have like Skinner and Thomas Sheridan, if you want to, you know. But I mean, some people don't like him, but whatever. I think he's pretty. You know,
he seems pretty legit to me.
Legit, yeah, definitely legit. I'm just trying to think if he's that famous like, as Crowley or something, but I don't know. People can argue about that, but I think he's a magician. He's definitely a magician. But so the UK has always been the hub of magic. There's a great series called Jonathan Strange and Dr. Norrell, and it takes place during the Napoleonic Wars. Okay, France versus England. They're fighting with cannons and you know what I mean, that type of stuff. And grenades and bombs. Now, this story, this magician is employed to join the battle against Napoleon and win for the British this war. And he has to, in the middle of war, create these magical things. And that is rooted in British magic. It goes back to The Tempest from William Shakespeare, where... Prospero, I think it is, Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, it's for basically Queen Elizabeth. It's about the Spanish Armada.
Yeah. John D. made him sunk them or whatever.
Well, yeah, it depends on who you ask about, like who made it happen or whatever. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like they all did. They came from England. It came from. So they've been into this for a long, long time. This is the real ancient religion. How to control the forces of nature.
Druidism.
To benefit you.
Druidism. It's Druidism.
Druidism, right. Yeah, exactly, right. So, but that's the real technology, right? That's the, like, forget, like, AI or anything like that. I mean, those are important questions, too, but, anyway.
But that's what Tim Rifat is doing, isn't it? It's Druidism or something, you know, except he's doing a more scientific version of it or something.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what he's like when Gridkeeper talks about grid work and ley lines and Max talked about those. I mean, I get the concept. I've been to those places where I felt like, wow, you've been there too, where it's like, whoa, this is a heavy place, man. Mm-hmm. Like that place you went to that ritual with, you know what I mean? That seemed like one of those heavy places that just naturally has weirdness attracted to it, you know? Mm-hmm. So the thing that Tim you'll hear say often is you'll hear cobalt blue, or no, cobalt 60.
Yeah.
Now, some people say it's 16. That's wrong, I think. It's 60. Cobalt in its natural state is 59. There's a thing called, apparently, cobalt 59.
Yeah.
When that interacts with the high intensity of an Elon Musk car battery, it creates a new element from the radical, you know.
Oh, I didn't understand that. I thought it was the nuclear explosion that might make it.
Oh, sure. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. Exactly, right. That's what causes this cobalt blue to form. Now, that apparently is super deadly, you know, and so you think about it, and you know he's right, because, you know, I've looked up car batteries quite a bit. I was just put a new one in my car, and I was wondering if what's the deal with those Elon Musk batteries? And it's true, they're like super expensive. They've got like some heavy metals in there, so he could be right about that. But that's what he means when he's talked about cobalt 60 being able, or having the ability to, like, or possibility to destroy the entire world many times over. Man.
I know. That's one of his strange claims, you know, and he also says it's inevitable that Pakistan and India will go to nuclear war. And so, you know, I don't know.
Did he say that? Yeah.
Yeah, he said that.
I didn't know that. Yeah, he makes seemingly outrageous he's very much into geopolitics as well. You'll notice on the Rent show, it's either like, you know, interpreting like pop stuff, but then most of the time it's like politics. Trump and he's very anti-immigration, which I like.
Yeah, I like that too. But he's also says he's going to destroy the West and everything. Like he wants to blow up America and all this shit. I mean, he's not going to get. I mean, I don't know how but he doesn't really want fans. He says he wants people to hate him.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And he gives the best reason I've ever heard. I mean, you know, in the past somebody might have had a reason. Oh, any type of publicity is good publicity, or something like that. But yeah, right. And so, but now if you think about that, and then also another thing, fame for fame's sake. So people, you know, wanting to become famous they don't know why, just because they want to be famous. Well, now, what if they didn't know the reason? Now there is a reason to become famous.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Right? Oh, and I've always wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, on some level, you know, maybe I'm, you know, I just need to get a few more subscribers. I'll be as big as Katy Perry. No, just kidding. But it's fascinating, man. It's fascinating.
No, people are attracted to fame, and the thing, like, well, yeah, that's fascinating, and like, you know, like you say, like you're driven to fame, man. Some people are driven by money. Some people are driven by sex. Whatever power, whatever it is that drives you, you know, the truth.
Yeah,
these are
knowledge,
knowledge or whatever, even
wisdom,
like experience, whatever, happiness, whatever you want. What Tim's saying is like, you know, to increase that and to increase your chances of that happening to you, why don't you try thinking about this, you know, and, you know, you start to think about it. You try to disprove him. You know, have a good time at it. You know what I mean? It's even just as a mental exercise. So, like, you know, you said, like, he makes these wild claims, like, as the downfall of the West. You know what, though? He's been saying that for a long time. He called it Chad world. That's another glossary in the Tim Rifat glossary.
That's the Mad Max world, right?
That is also known as Mad Max world, Chad world, Nicaragua world, or whatever, in America. Which America is also being, because of the migrant crisis, they're all flocking to like the first world nations because it's so poor everywhere else, right? So they all flock to like America and to Europe, you know, and by the millions, if not, you know, billions probably, you know, but millions, and they just let them in, and they just go around gassing people. I mean, you know,
raping women.
Raping women.
It's all by design. It's all by design.
So like there's a legit thing that is
that
is the downfall of the West. If that happens, that is the downfall of the West.
It's already happening, and it's been done on purpose. It's by design. I mean, you would never let your enemies in your own country back.
I know, right?
But now it's like we're going to let them in, and we're not going to prosecute them, and we're going to give them all these handlers and all these things that says yes, it's okay to rape women.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Like over there in Europe, it's really bad in like Sweden and Germany and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then they don't get prosecuted. Same thing in England. The most extreme ones don't get prosecuted.
Interesting. They have a certain status, yeah.
Well, yeah, but they're just all they all are handled. I mean,
the thing is, at the very least, dude, they are from Muslim countries, and they are from countries where it is a third world. Things are so bad that the person next door to you is going to kill you. So you come in with that mentality to a first world nation, you're taking advantage of everything. You know what I mean? Like, I live in New England. I don't lock the door sometimes. You know what I mean? When I go walk around. It's that friendly of community. Billionaires aren't going to break into billionaires' houses and stuff like that.
No,
you know what I mean? Same kind of thing. It's like, you can relax, Martha's Vineyard. Like, but when you get the migrants, like, and believe me, man, like, my grandfather on my mother's side, came from Forja in Italy. They go back ages in Italy and stuff like that. So I'm very sympathetic to immigration and stuff, and I think it's great. But you got to do it legally. It can't be done by the millions. The country, when the people who are already in the country are suffering because they're either in student loan debt or they're not educated, or they can't find good jobs, or blah 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 blah. No, take care of the citizens first. Citizens first, man. No, you know what I mean? So it gets me upset.
I'm against it. I'm against it. Most of my friends are like, I guess liberals or something like that. And, I just want to keep my mouth shut. But no, I'm against it. It's stupid. It's asinine to let these people in here.
Well, I mean, like, look, and like you look at like how they try to trigger your emotions, and they pray. This is what I found, because I was so liberal when I was a kid. When I was in the activist undergraduate major. It's known nationally as like basically the SJW breeding camp. You know what I mean? I didn't know it back then. I thought I was going into a program that was just interdisciplinary and like, you know what I mean? And so I joined that department, and it was, and I made it that way, but it was so left wing. Like, they had like posters of Marx and Lenin up and stuff like that. They had parties called Red Stars. And like, and it's just like, yay, communism, yay, Marxism, yay. And it's like, no, dude, that shit is so old. Like, you set yourself up as, and they got, this department was set up, during like the 60s and 70s with like the protests and sit-ins, and it's just not the same world anymore. You know what I mean? But all these people who flocked there were like transgender. Every one of them was either transgender, gay, and totally liberal, or a woman. There was like me and one other dude, two other people, guys there. And the women, like, the sad thing is that like, most of them, even though they were women, they were swinging the other way. You know what I mean? So, but I got a women's studies degree. That's how much I study this shit. And I was really into it. But I still didn't conform. I was sitting in the classroom, and they would say, so the problem with the world is that, white men rule everything. And so that's the problem with everything. And, oh, by the way, hello, you're the white man, aren't you, in this classroom? Yeah. That's going to work out real well, And right. So it was hard, dude. But anyway, so like I know I'm very sympathetic to like liberalism and activism. And I think, you got to get shit done sometimes. But it's so polarized right now that people are just going to extremes. So on the alt-right, you have racism, like terrible racism, where like, I get, you make fun of black people all you want, man. But when it gets to the point of like calling them slaves and like very, you can tell when something's like not right? And racist, and it's just like, and hateful. You know what I mean? for no reason other
it's
than
no good. Yeah, just because they're getting everybody stirred up.
Right.
Conquer,
so they all
divide and conquer.
Yeah, they all do it, man. The left wing does it too. So they try to trigger your emotions with the immigration thing by showing on Time magazine this little girl separated from her mom, and then Donald Trump over her like this, you know. And it's like, no, what, you know, it's policy is more complicated than that. You know what I'm saying? Like when Obama was in office, would you have like the photo of like a dead Iraqi girl on the cover? I'd love to see that. A photo of the you know, a dead Iraqi girl or an Afghanistan girl looking up at Obama. They would never think about doing that. You know what I'm saying? So Trump, for better or worse, is an agent of chaos for the political system, I think. I know people say he's in bed with, he's really in the revolving door. No, he's a little different, man. He's definitely, you know, he was an actor, you know what I mean? He produced television shows. He gets entertainment. He wants to run America as a business. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but it's fascinating to watch. And so American politics, yeah, we have a migrant problem, and Trump recognizes that. He hears the constituencies, you know, and Europe has it. I mean, Chancellor Merkel of Germany, who's been in office forever.
She's a traitor.
She's
a traitor to the German people.
She's trying to get the entire European Union to let these people in. And Britain said, no thanks, Brexit. That's how much they wanted to separate from that policy. And they're still coming over. And, you know, it's not like, you know, it's just you can't ruin things with migration. I mean, you can really do it, but you shouldn't. You know, you can really ruin shit with migration and stuff like that, man. It's just not good and then you don't have an identifiable Western culture.
Yeah. They don't have our values. They come from little shitholes.
Right.
I'll say it. I'm not scared to say that.
They're punching each other over ketchup packets, man. My friend went to Tanzania and Kenya, and like sub-Saharan African, and he said, like, you know, you don't think how good you have it here until you see two like boys fight over a ketchup packet. You know, can you imagine that, man? And so obviously, like fix those places, you know, fund them, get the food there, blah blah blah, but don't flood a first world. That's just a disaster. Meanwhile, the elite Illuminati rich, if you want to call them that, you know where they are? Bariloche in, you know, Argentina, where it's like the Alps, basically. You know, they go to the gated communities way high up above sea level, you know, where they'll be safe when the shit hits the fan. And I think all you have to do in America, if you want to see Walking Dead, you shut down a methadone clinic. All the methadone clinics in the United States, all shut down. Dude, forget. You think you want to see violent zombies, dude? Forget about it. I've seen people like, you know, unfortunately had a friend who used to use methadone or whatever, and he had to do it every single day. He had to do it every single day, or else he would get total sweaty withdrawal, like couldn't sleep, twitching, and all these terrible things. And so if you shut that down for like 3 months, you would see chaos. It would take something that simple. That, you know, we can have control over what we do, but I can't choose what you do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the statistics show that, like, most people, like, they're going to look out for themselves, man.
That's right. And you know what? One thing I've noticed is just on flying recently, dude, if they somehow, we couldn't fly anymore, that would forever change the life in America.
Are you serious? No flying?
Yeah, I mean, it would corrupt. You know what I mean? If there was going to be a civil war, you'd assume that you can't go up and take airplanes, right? I mean,
right. That's a good point. Yeah,
because people could just shoot them with a rifle.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah.
You're just a sitting target. You know. I mean, you know.
Yep.
Anybody could just shoot you. And so that's really a point in favor that I really don't think that not that there won't be a civil war or martial law, because there probably will, but it'll be very localized. They'll have it in certain areas, and then there's going to be safe areas, and I think that Austin's going to be one of them. They're not going to let it happen.
Really?
Here. Yeah, they're not going to let it happen here.
Huh. I wonder if Katrina was like a practice run of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how Blackwater went into Katrina, New Orleans after Katrina, and basically like ran that place. You know what I mean? These are all practice runs for what they're gonna do here. That's the scary part, man. Is that
Jade Hill, all that shit? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, I come from a family of soldiers, you know, that proudly serve in the Marine Corps and stuff like that, you know. And but look at it for what it is, dude. It's a killing force. And when you bring those people home, and there's peacetime, they can't handle peacetime, man. They're trained to kill. And so what are they going to do? They're going to turn to, like, this shitty economy. They're going to turn to, like, the music and popular music and like, media that sucks and doesn't promote anything good about you. You know, and it takes someone like Jordan Peterson to say, clean your room, and then everyone goes, oh, my God, you're the best. Thank you for telling me to clean my room, because even though I love him, and of course it's great to do that, but it's a sad state of affairs. And, you know, Tim Rifat calls that Chad world. We're basically, and I've been saying it too for years, where a third world nation, or a first world nation rather, like England, that was once a great empire, the greatest on the face of the earth, right? And, you know, different empires. You notice the Chinese don't do this. They don't have an immigration policy of welcome, come on all in. They got plenty of land. And same thing with Russia, or, you know, and so England, way smaller than any of those countries, is taking on way too many people for the land size, and that's just what it comes down to. And the different values, as you said, you know.
I think it's hard to make a living over there in England. They tax the fuck out of them. It's hard to get a job and everything. I mean, it's just I really don't even want to visit there, because I'd be worried about getting arrested or something.
Right? Well, and the thing is, they have the CCTVs everywhere. Like, it's pretty bad already, like, in the United States, you know, like, I've noticed them all over the city. I mean, they're everywhere, in Boston and stuff like that, but even smaller towns at, like, certain intersections and stuff, and definitely outside every convenience store now, outside every gas pump, you know what I mean? Like, we're living in a surveillance society, you know, like, if I want to know what you did today, I would go on a computer, I'd be like, all right, Ayin Thropos, cell phone, or whatever, you know, and I'd be like, oh, track it. All right, where is he? Oh, location, right here. Okay, bring up his bank account right now. Let's see the swipes. Okay, so he was here, he was there, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you bring up the video, like, you could totally follow someone 24/7. That's scary, dude, because we want privacy. Anyway, Tim Rifat said that, you know, this is what's going to happen when a first world nation approaches to be a third world nation. And that's happening, man. It's sad. It's really sad, because England is a beautiful place, man. It's one of the most, UK is one of, it's one of the most beautiful. I haven't even been to most places, you know what I mean? I've been to Dublin and Ireland, and I only got to stay like 2 days, but I got a very rare James Joyce coin. Here, I'll show you 1 second.
Cool.
So yeah, and I got some 50-year-old whiskey from Jameson factory itself, you know?
Whoa!
Or 60-year-old, I'm sorry, 60. It was a small bottle, but anyway, so this is from the Gaelic Bank in Ireland. And I don't know if you can get a good
Oh,
look
wow.
at it.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on,
What is it made out of silver?
Silver. It's a 10-pound euro, which is funny because the Brexit is James Joyce. And it's cool because it's got the patch over the eye like my ancestor, you know, because he had the problem with the one eye too.
I didn't know. What, was he blind in one eye or what?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, and that's how he died. But the cool thing is the sketching of the harp on the other side. It says "ire," like, you know, airing, like which is where Ireland comes from. But what else does it say? Oh yeah, 2013 is when I got it. But dude, the etchings of this harp are so cool, and the harp goes back to Egypt. The lyre, you know, the L-Y, all the music, like the harp represents the heart and the soul and all that, and that's why it's on. But anyway, the etching, this is a beautiful thing, man. So yeah, I was there to get this guy, and there was a limited number made, only one per family were made. You can only get one per family. And my number out of 10,000 is a very low number. It's like, it's 666 of all of 10,000.
Your coin is
so 000666, is it? Yeah. 000666. Yep.
How did that happen?
I don't know, but yeah. So it's
and there's only 10,000 of those made.
And only 10,000, yeah. And you can go. I went on eBay the other day to check out, see how much they were. The price has quadrupled already, and some people don't even have the case; they just have the coin. I have everything. I have the slip case. You know, it's pretty cool.
If you don't mind me asking, I mean, it has a numismatic value, but then it also. I guess you could spend it. It's about $1,400,000.
I know, that'd be bad. No, I know. I wouldn't do that. Yeah.
So it is real money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's a euro though. So like anywhere that that accepts euros, which is anywhere in Europe, you know. But Britain, it's pounds. You know, they still have their own currency, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how they got away with it. I think there was a little period where everything was euro in Britain, if I'm not mistaken, and that's why they made these, or at least in Ireland, and that's why they have these, or maybe it still is, because you have Northern Ireland and you have Ireland, you know what I mean? So it's still two separate places. But yeah, back to Rifat, you know, he was saying, like, you know, you're going to see Chad World, you're going to see in your home right now, I think it's comfortable now, the wetware, who are you and I, human beings or whatever, he just calls them wetware. And, you know, if you notice in, like, certain army manuals, that's what they call the people. They call people wetware. That's the way like Aquino uses that word a lot, too. Like wetware. So, like, yeah, it's like basically human intelligence and stuff like that, you know? Yeah. So, you know, so he said that the West would probably fall. You're going to see the decline, and we're seeing the decline. And then, I mean, you're going to see it fall. It's just going to come apart. You're not going to recognize it. It's not going to happen overnight. But I've noticed it in my lifetime, dude, like things getting progressively a little bit worse with things, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then a very few doing very well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see that side, too. And it makes me sick, you know?
I'm thinking about...
Tim Rifat's smart about that. You know, he predicts that stuff.
I'm thinking about buying some property in a third world country. If things go to shit here, it'd be best to be in a third world country, unless it's like Nicaragua or Guatemala.
Dude, my friend Ethan, we went in on beachfront property in Nicaragua. And it's beautiful, man. It's like we have our own private beach. We went in with a bunch of people, but... not a bunch, but like 3-4 people, and we have like our own little island.
Yeah,
you know? But the problem is, dude, is like if a storm comes, you want to be above sea level. So we got to purchase like something above sea level because this is just right on the beach. It's an old spa. Like rundown, not hotel, but a spa area thing. And so they're turning it into a surfing resort. You know, but yeah, dude, he's there now. He spends every summer there, and surfing and stuff like that. He loves it, man.
Are the gangs there, or is that in Guatemala?
No, that's Nicaragua. And that's what he's in the middle of a civil war. That's the problem, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to watch it, man. And you really have to watch it. And that goes for anywhere. Even in Mexico, you really got to watch it, you know? Anywhere you go, you know, but especially those places. But yeah, Nicaragua. And then I have a friend who has a place in Costa Rica. And Costa Rica is like an American, it's very much an Americanized country.
I used to live there.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty American friendly, right?
Yeah, it is. And now, Peru, you don't got to worry about shit in Peru.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
They're not fuck with you. They don't have the same kind of crime that we have.
No, definitely not. I know, yeah. A friend of mine did an ayahuasca ritual in Peru at Blue Morpho was the name of the place, and I guess it's an amazing place. Like the monkeys are everywhere, crawling, and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool.
It's in the north. That's in northern Peru.
Oh, okay.
And
the Amazon, right? There's like the Amazon goes through.
No, I think. Well, if this is the one I'm thinking, there's a whole where most of them is up in the north. It's not really where I did the ayahuasca ritual was on the Amazon, right there. Yeah. But no, they're up north where most of these retreats are, out in the mountains.
Wow. So you did that too? You did a ritual too? Wow. Mm-hmm. How long? Like just that one time? Oh, okay. Yeah, my friend did it for a straight week, every day.
Yeah, that's ideally how you're supposed to do it, you know. And then also cleanse your body out, you know, and don't eat meat and all that stuff. I didn't do any of that.
Before he went, you did it. It still was okay though. You still it was fine. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I didn't have these big visions and stuff. But so yeah, I need to go back and do it again. But I was there with a bunch of guys that were there to get cured.
Yes.
Different diseases and stuff. But it was very profound, and for some reason I'd had a cough where I'd coughed like about maybe once an hour,
right?
Like a deep cough, just one single cough, and it had been going on for a couple of months. I was getting worried about it.
Oh wow!
But that's not why I went down there. It stopped that night. I was completely cured, and the people that I was traveling with told me. They each brought me to the side and told me they didn't know each one was telling me this, how calm that I changed, that I was like so much more calm.
Wow, yeah. Well, my friend went down, he's a psychologist, and a PhD psychologist, but he's always into like altered states, you know, ever since we were in high school. And so he wanted to explore the biggest thing he could. He went for a whole week, and he said he was there with like rape victims, veterans who suffer from like heroin addicts, all kinds of stuff. And that's how you heal. And like, you know, and it's pretty amazing. Like it's like a purge. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you throw up for sure
all week. And I remember he called me, and I was like, "Oh, dude, where are you?" He's like, "I'm in Cuba." Because he was flying back, you know, and I guess they stopped in Cuba, I guess, and I didn't think he could, but anyway, and he's like, I'm like, "Hi, how you doing? What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, Nick isn't here right now, you know." I'm like, "What do you mean?" You know, he's like, I'll be back. He's like, "But I went somewhere else, you know. I'll tell you all about it." I was like, "Wow, man, it's crazy."
Nick is your friend, right? And he said Nick is not here. Wow.
Yeah. He's like, he'll be back in a little bit. But Nick went away for a while. Like, what in the world is going on?
Wow.
You know, and there's some dark shamans out there that are like taking advantage of that state to like do dark shit.
Yeah,
luckily,
there is,
not too much.
And there's another drug that's like ayahuasca, but it's the one for the dark sorcerers.
Oh, you serious? I
Yeah,
didn't hear about this.
And then not only that, a lot of people have experiences with like the Greys or like with the reptilians.
Oh, wow, really?
Even in the good places. And this one guy, you know, I was reading this one story with the guy. He had this massive, you know, revelation and saw the aliens and everything, and then he came back and he told the shaman after he woke up. You know, he told the shaman about it. He's like, yeah, and these aliens, and they did that, and that shaman just started laughing. He said, "Oh, they fucking lie all the time."
Wow.
You know,
yeah.
just very matter of fact. You know what I mean? Just like, you know, just because you heard it in the spirit world doesn't mean it's true.
My friend Nick, I remember when he was planning on going, you know, and it costs a lot of money or whatever, but not that much.
$5,000 or $6,000, I think.
Yeah, it was like $6,000 or something like that, plus whatever. And anyway, so he got sent like everything, and this thing he got sent like a packet. It was, I would say, about this size. It was like this size, okay? And it was like a manual, and like it read like introduction, like, and it was like things you should do before you get here, and it's like fast for 6 months, you know, don't take any medications, don't take any blah blah blah, like cleanse every. It's like, whoa, this is heavy. Like go to a liquid only diet for like a month, and it's like what, like no meat, like all kinds of like weird requests, and like no sex, like weird shit, you know, and it's like what, but they want you at like your peak, you know, I guess, or healthiest, but still, and then it got to a part, I swear to God, it got to a part where it was like entities that are in there, or that you'll see, and it's like, I forget the name, but it was like Anahutahai. The yellow anaconda, you'll see this yellow anaconda, Anahutahai, will appear if you say its name, and it will come to you and talk to you and heal you, and then it had another name of another entity, and then another snake thing, and another this, and then another, and it was like all these different things that you could, but it read like clinically, you know what I'm saying? It read like, yep, you just got like, okay, make sure you bring a backpack, and don't forget to, you know, call out the anaconda, yellow anaconda. It just come like, and so I asked Nick. I was like, "Dude, did that happen?" He's like, "Yes, it came. Like this is like repeatable. Like if you went down there, you'd experience the same thing, pretty much, and you would, that's fascinating to me. Like, so what is it then that you're tapping into in the DMT ayahuasca realm? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Like, if it's repeatable and people are experiencing the same yellow anaconda of wisdom and shit, and they're being torn to shreds, and you know, there's the ikarus and all that.
But what the question would be is if you had that same ayahuasca, the root and everything, and you did it in Russia, would you would you then see that? I don't think you would, because
I don't think so. You're a good point. That's a good point.
It's local.
I think with ayahuasca it is. I bet you, because all plants and fungus, like mushrooms and stuff, they take on the character of the environment around them, at least a little bit. And so you'll probably get a little jungle vibe of something, you know, but I think a lot of the visions and stuff like that will probably be reflective of the local environment. I remember...
and I think also the local deities, the local spirits. I mean, I believe these spirits are real. Dude,
I'll tell you what. Here's a good story. There's a movie out now called Hereditary. Really good. It might have just come out on Blu-ray. But anyway, go see it. And it's really good. It's about a demonic spirit that possesses a family and a teenage boy. And but it doesn't look like that from the trailer at all. It just looks like a dollhouse thing. And so it's a real deity, King Paimon. You've heard of it?
No, I know who that is.
Yeah.
I know him.
Like in the very beginning, this girl's wearing a necklace, and so spoiler.
I call him Paimon.
Paimon, yeah.
Paimon, and he's one of the not the Goetia, but the he's one of the Goetia. Shibhamprish.
Yeah, yeah. So that's spoiler alert, but the movie's all about that. It's about and it's a real thing. So when my friend, when my friend went to California and met David Wilcock in Topanga Canyon, at like my friend, I knew all these people from Burning Man, and there's a guy, he's like a billionaire eccentric architect, and he bought 100 and something, or no, maybe it was less. So it was probably like 50 or 20 or whatever it was, acres of Topanga Canyon, which overlooks Malibu. Basically prime real estate. It used to be an Indian reservation, so it has a teepee on it that fits like 200 people. It's a teepee that fits 200 people. Oh, and there's there's a river that runs through it. He has these giant, like, telephone pole-sized iron gates, like in height, that just like keep everybody out, and you have to get in. My friend knew the code, and then you walk around. There's all these houses on this mountain, dude, like airstreams and just like teepees and like really nice tree houses and weird, gardens. Everything's sustainable. The guy's an architect. He's a German guy, and so he fills it up with like all these weird like artists, like musicians and people from around the world, like shamans and all these spiritual people. And we went there for philosophy night. They were having philosophy night, and we were going up the Coast 101 in California. I don't know if you've ever been on that. Have you? Okay.
Yeah. As a child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so we were going up the 101. You can imagine it. You go past LA, and then you go into Malibu. You go through a tunnel, and then there's Topanga Canyon Road on the right. There's water all to the left, right? Topanga Canyon Road to the right. And we sat in there was like an American Apparel store right there. And it was closed, but like all the lights were on, which was weird, and it was right on the ocean, and there was like no traffic for some reason. Like LA's usually bumper to bumper traffic, all nonstop, you know. And he's like, let me do my little ritual, and he put his mushrooms in, and he slugged them back. And so we drive up to Topanga, and keep in mind, we were right at sea level when we drank the mushrooms and stuff, and then it's like a snake, this road, and you don't know because you just drive. And I was driving, so like you don't know, it's just a dirt road kinda. It turns out, and you see like a general store at one point to the right, and you get a little peep, but it was dark, so we couldn't see anything. And you are all of a sudden, dude, 3,000 miles above sea level. You're way up in the mountains. You're way high up. You've been going on a steady incline. Doesn't feel like it, but all of a sudden, like, the air's different. You know what I'm saying? So this guy owned like an Indian reservation up there. And it was fascinating. So we got there, and they had like a little get-together talk. And it was called Philosophy Night, and we brought burritos. And so everybody was happy. And I noticed a guy, blonde hair, blue shirt, talking to this couple of girls, and my friend Ethan went over and said hi to him and stuff. And years went by, man, and it's David. I knew it was David Wilcock now, And just like in 2007, when we were busing people to and fro from Burning Man, one time we picked up just one guy, and he had an English accent, and he was a really cool guy, and we were talking about like mythology, and wow, this guy's amazing. And he's like, I'm going to meet my wife, yada yada. He's like, I'm kind of an archaeologist. I'm like, I've never heard of you. Sorry, I don't know. You know who it was? Graham Hancock. It was Graham Hancock.
Oh my gosh!
I got to spend 2-3 hours with him. Just like as my passenger, you know what I mean? Just like and I didn't know who he was,
Wow, he had already written books and everything by that time, huh?
I hadn't read any of his books at that point. I didn't know who he was, but now he's amazing. I love Graham Hancock. He's a big proponent of ayahuasca as well.
Oh yeah, he's done it a lot of times.
Yep. So, anyway.
Man, so we're going to have to follow this, the the evolution of Tim Rifat on, and we ought to, after this next interview that comes out with the Basis Project, we ought to have another talk about it.
We should.
Yeah.
We got to see it. And if you have any questions, you know what I mean? You seem to understand it pretty well, and it's not for everybody. But if you're an elite super soldier, or at least not just, I don't want to say super soldier because a lot of them are super victims, but in respect to Max and all that, if you understand what he's saying, and better yet, you get to see how to carry it out upon your enemies. And also, and he's not good, he doesn't reveal this because part of his plan, as he said, is to unleash the chaos of magic and then sell psychic defense. Because right now he's all about offense.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Well, but offense is sometimes the best defense. So, learn. I'm interested. I'm gonna learn what's going on with this stuff. I'm gonna see what's going on with
it. Like even Miles asked him, he's like, well, you're using crystals. Problem is, a lot of crystals already have demonic energy in them. Like if you get a crystal that's not like gone through a cleansing process, and even if you do, there's no turning back. Like, you have like a black crystal or a white crystal, and he's like, so what do you do then? He's like, well, as a super soldier, you just fuck everything up. You know what I mean?
You just eat it.
You just eat it up. You consume it, and you use it for you, and that's the idea of the super soldier. And so a crystal's not going to get in your way of that and all that. And, it's really interesting to think about because he's right about archetypes. Like Superman. There's an archetype for you. He's the sun. He's even better than the sun. He's like God. You know what I mean? He chooses to become a human being, Clark Kent, and put on glasses and make a goof about himself and shit like that. And he chooses to save the world. Why is that so popular? Why is that so popular? You know what I mean? Because it's an archetype. People are giving their energy, just like a god. Just like a god. So our new gods, as a lot of people argue, are these Marvel characters, are these Doctor Strange and Thanos and, and like all the Avengers, Tony Stark and all these people. So many young kids are watching those movies too. You know what I mean? The Last Jedi. The Jedi. And even
they know way more about that than they do about church and the Bible and stuff.
What do you mean?
They know way more about these Marvel characters than they know about Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, right. Yeah,
even the church-going kids, right? Yeah,
It's like John Lennon said, like, the Beatles are more popular than Jesus right now. You know, and he got in such trouble for saying that and said he's sorry, whatever. But he was right. And he meant like with like the kids. And so you capture their imagination with archetype, dude. People are drawn to the beautiful goddess. It's also a warrior.
See, I'm somebody who's always been in the archetypal world. I live there. So that's why this stuff resonates with me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you should read Carl Jung, man. Carl Jung, I mean, obviously talked about archetypes, talked about shadow work, but like he narrowed down the different archetypes that you will encounter, dude. Like the hero archetype. There's also like the animus and the anima, which is the anima is like your female side, if I'm not mistaken. The animus is the divine masculine, basically. You got to find those energies within you. And Carl Jung, for example, said that if you a way to get in touch with your masculine side, especially if you're a woman, and for all you ladies out there, grab a knife or grab a gun or a weapon of some sort and just hold it. Just hold it like you are a soldier, especially if it's a sword or if it's a knife or something like that. Just hold it like you do, and just hold on to it. That will immediately put you back in touch with your DNA, ancestral bloodline, lineage of the divine masculine within you. You know what I'm saying? There you go, bro. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Because there's some suspicion. There's a special forces. A very elite MI6 special force assassin